Hello and welcome to Martyn Lucas Investor. My name is Sensei and we are here for the morning forecast stream. We're live every single morning. You might be watching this as a video later on and you might be joining us live. But remember, this is done every single morning. And today we're looking at XRP tanking. Well, it was just before Trump announced that things with China might be fine. XRP is still down. It's below $2.30. It's below resistance. It is in a terrible downtrend and it might be heading into a bear market. We've just got some banks come out and report some fears, and the market is not liking it. So let me explore all of that news. Let me go into the charts. Let me welcome you all in. If you have just tuned in, it's always great if you can come in, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't done so already. That is a great thing to always do. So you can see this is XRP's price action. It is just down, 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 down. Ever since we hit those previous all-time highs, it's just lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. And unfortunately, after what happened last Friday, we actually had lower lows put in as well. And now again, lower highs. So the trend is definitely down right now for XRP. And the line in the sand is $2. If we break $2, we are going into a bear market. If Bitcoin breaks 100,000 for a couple weeks, we're in a bear market. That's my thoughts. But I still think there is a chance that XRP and the crypto market goes for its final euphoric run after the market cools down, maybe slightly, then a euphoric run, then the major crash comes in 2026. Again, nothing I say is financial advice. These are my thoughts and opinions only. Please do not buy or sell based off anything I say. Let's see what the news of the day is. This is all happening while Ripple announced a major acquisition yesterday. Remember, we covered Brad Garlinghouse's speech a couple days ago, and then he said that an announcement, an acquisition will be coming soon. We didn't know it would be this soon, and we got it yesterday. So what is that acquisition? I'll come on to that in a second. But Ripple enters a $120 trillion corporate treasury market. So that could be a major catalyst for XRP. We'll come on to that story in a little bit, so stay tuned for that. But let's go over to what's causing the market to come down. Regional banks in trouble again. Remember, we had the regional bank crisis that took us basically into that bear market in 2023. That's what one of the big catalysts that took us into that bear market, 2022, 2023, and it looks like it could be back, but people are overreacting. I'll tell you exactly why they're overreacting in a second, but let's talk about exactly what's going on so you understand what's happening in the market. Remember, this is all from our very own newsletter. If you haven't signed up to the newsletter yet, the link is in the live chat. It's also the first link in the description. If you have just tuned in, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't done so already. So investors are panicking, fraud, credit risk, SVB flashbacks. You can see everyone is worried about 2023. So fears of fresh banking crisis returned this week after a pair of US regional lenders revealed unexpected loan losses linked to fraud. The news sparked a global sell-off with financials leading the decline, even though the underlying loss appears small relevant to bank balance sheets. These are tiny losses in the millions compared to the billions wiped out of the stock market. Remember, this is even spreading to the UK. I mean, one of the stories we have here is the FTSE 100 is down 2.5% this week as the US jitters spark global sell-off. This is spreading to the United Kingdom. Remember, we've got big banks in the UK that make up a lot of the FTSE 100. And they've been falling over the last 3 sessions, especially today as well. The sharpest decline on the FTSE since the tariff decline, because of these renewed US regional lenders rippled through the global markets. Financial stocks led the slide with Barclays down 6%, NatWest down 3%, Intermediate Capital Group dropping 7%, reflecting broader unease about credit quality and exposure to corporate loans. So look, this is not just the US and this is a global, this is spreading globally, of course. So what are we actually talking about? What actually happened? Remember, this is a major overreaction in my books, but the only reason it's a major overreaction is because the market is majorly overbought. The market is inflated. The market is in a bubble, and that's why any excuse, any slight hint of something going wrong, the market de-risks because of how overbought it is. The market is priced for perfection plus more. The market is priced for earnings to beat plus more. And what I mean by that, the S&P is price to earnings is expecting earnings to outperform and crash 10-20% so it comes into a fair value. So that's why everything needs to be perfect. And as soon as there's something that goes wrong a little bit, just like we saw the 100% tariffs on Friday, the market collapsed, especially the crypto market. Just like we've seen, I'm going to explain to you with these regional banks, it's not actually massive, but the markets crashed. So what actually happened? Two regional banks, Zions Bancorp and Western Alliance, disclosed losses tied to fraudulent or misrepresented commercial loans, unsettling an already cautious market. The market's on edge. It's ready to go down. Zions said it would write off about 50 million after uncovering fraudulent activity related to two corporate borrowers. That's what they're doing. They're writing off 50 million. 50 million, again, yes, these are smaller banks. These aren't the big banks. So 50 million is slightly significant, but not even to them. 50 million is a drop in the ocean. So again, that's not really an issue. Western Alliance filed their lawsuits against a borrower for similar fraud exposure, but emphasized that it's expected to recover most of the collateral. So there we go. 50 million, 70 million. That's what they had to cover. That's why the market sold off for billions. So both incidences triggered a sharp reaction across financial stocks. The KBM Regional Bank Index, that's sort of an ETF, you can look at it that way, dropped more than 6% this week. Its steepest decline since the 2023 SVB crisis, as investors rush to reduce exposure to small lenders. People are panicking. People are on edge. So why has the market reacted so sharply? The losses themselves, 50 million, are minor. But the fear is that they are systematic of something larger. That's what the fear is. This is the beginning of more. A deterioration in credit quality after years of high rates and tighter lending conditions. Several factors and amplifying market anxiety. Lingering scars from 2023. Remember, 2023, when we had that Silicon Valley Bank SVB collapse, everyone was waiting for the next one. Everyone was waiting for the next one, and then the market recovered. So there is lingering scars of 2023. The collapse of the Silicon Valley Bank and others left investors hypersensitive to any signs of weakness among regionals. They are on edge. Hidden risk. Fraud losses are particularly unnerving because they can't easily be modeled or foreseen. Once a case appears, the market asks, who's next? Narrow market sentiment. With equities already wobbling after tariff headlines and global shutdown fears, traders were quick to sell first and ask questions later. Remember, that is the way things go when you are in a market that's overbought, that's uneasy, that's wobbling. So sell first and ask questions later. That's what people do. They see the headlines, they get worried, they don't want to analyze it all. They just sell. You see the headline, they sell. And this is something hedge funds do as well as retail. Might not always be the best thing. It might be considered a panic sell, but they sell and then they ask questions later. Then they analyze, is this bad? Is this good? And then they buy in when they're a bit more confident. So again, traders sold first, and then they're going to ask the questions later, and they might be coming back in the market now after President Trump made an announcement with China. Then we've got credit cycle concerns. Some analysts worry that the US economy is entering a late cycle phase where defaults and charge-offs begin to climb. As one strategist told Bloomberg, this was this morning, a $50 billion loss shouldn't move a $1 billion market, but scars that SVB made everyone jumpy. So how serious is this? Is this going to continue? If you have just tuned in, make sure you have hit the like button, subscribe as well. So how serious is it? For now, this looks like a confidence shock that more like a confidence shock than a solvency risk or crisis. The losses are modest compared to the total assets. Zion's non-performing assets remained about 1% of total loans, a historically low level. Larger banks, including JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, and Morgan Stanley, reported strong earnings this week with return on equity in the high teens. Very, very strong from the main banks. Crucially, this episode is about credit quality, not liquidity stress. There is no signs of widespread deposit fight or funding pressure. If you're looking at the facts, this isn't a major concern for the market. What's actually a major concern is the overvaluation of the stocks. That's why the stock market can come down. But right now, with the facts in front of us, the regional banking side of things should not cause a crash. Anyway, perception can move faster than fundamentals. If more regionals disclose similar issues, market could start treating those as early warning signs of broader credit downturn. Again, if we don't really live in a world of ifs. This is saying if regionals disclose. This is why the market's down. They're worried about things that there's no evidence of yet. We're saying if regionals disclose similar issues, markets could start treating these as early warning signs. That's why people are selling off. But we can't just work on ifs. We need to look at the facts in front of us. And the facts in front of us are there is no issues with the regional banking sector as of now. What the issue is, which is the facts in front of us, and we did a whole deep dive last Friday. Remember last Friday's deep dive? Hours later, the market crashed 80%. The issues and the facts in front of us is the overvaluation of the markets. Look, and an overvaluation of the markets, we've had it in history before where the markets are overvalued and they continue going up, and it could in fact be the best time to be in the market. But those are the facts. We are overvalued right now in the market. The fact of the matter is right now, regional banks are not vulnerable right now. So the argument to be made why they might be vulnerable is regional lenders have less room compared to the big banks. Regional lenders have less room for error than Wall Street giants. They have to get it right more often than not. They operate with narrower profit margins, more concentrated loan books, and less diversified revenue streams. Many have heavy exposure to commercial real estate and small business lending, sectors under pressure from high interest costs and slowing growth. That's the game you play with these smaller regional banks. Unlike larger national banks, regionals can't easily offset credit loans with trading or investment banking profits. That's why even isolated bad loans can weigh heavily on investor sentiment. So remember, these are smaller banks. They deal more with smaller businesses, the businesses that sort of want that are very exposed to high interest rates. High interest rates are not good for these lenders, so they might default on their loans. Larger banks have higher profit margins and can work against that. But right now, that's broadly why they've always been a bit more vulnerable, a bit more high risk. But right now, they're not vulnerable in the sense that we've got lots of defaults, for example. So what are we watching next? More disclosures. If other banks report write-offs or lawsuits tied to loan fraud, fear could spread quickly. If we get a few more doing this, then yes, that's when we start getting concerned. Rising non-performing loans, any uptick in defaults across commercial portfolios would confirm that credit cycle is turning. Liquidity stress. So far, there's been no evidence of deposit flight, but that can change fast in a risk-off environment. Regulatory, keep an eye out for regulatory commentary as well. The FDIC and the Federal Reserve will be watching closely for any signs of tightened supervision or emergency guidance. We might even get a comment from Jerome Powell on that FOMC at the end of the month. So, my thoughts. I don't think this is 2023. This isn't 2023 all over again. At least not yet, not with the information we have in front of us. What we're seeing is likely a short-term fear trade that's then the start of a systemic crisis. Regional banks remained well capitalized, and fraud-related losses are usually one-offs rather than structural failures. But the market's reaction tells you something important. It tells you everything, in my opinion. Confidence is fragile, and investors are eager for excuses to de-risk. You can see how eager people are to sell their stocks, how on edge people are. One small thing like this, which is a $50 million loss, which is really nothing in the grand scheme of things, sent the market down globally. The market participants, including larger market participants such as banks and hedge funds, are waiting for any excuse to start de-risking because they know how overvalued the market is. And again, this is why Martyn is out the stock market, and the evidence is becoming clearer and clearer every day. If credit, and remember, we will come onto the XRP chart. I'm just explaining why XRP and the global markets are down, and also the news from Brad Garlinghouse. So, if credit conditions tighten further, or more surprises surface, this could easily snowball into a broader repricing of financial risk. This could be the thing that sends the market tumbling. It could be tariffs that sends the market tumbling. It could be anything can light the fuse to send the market tumbling, whether that's what happened on Friday and a big liquidation event, or something that can happen at the beginning of 2026 or in December or November, where we get that bear market that is due because of the overvaluations of the market. There's also, obviously, I'll come on to the XRP chart, the chance that I'm still 50-50 on, which is we will get to the altcoin season and then go into a market crash. So for retail investors, the smart move isn't panic. Never panic is good. It's just awareness. Just understand the numbers. Don't just go off headlines. Know what's happening. Watch how the next few banks report. If credit losses stay isolated, this pullback can turn into an opportunity. If they spread, it may signal that credit cycle is finally turning. Is this the thing that sends the markets down? Right now, definitely not, because this is not enough to be worried about. So that's what's going on with the regional banks. Let me turn to XRP and Ripple, because we've got a bit of good news, but XRP is coming down. So let me just turn to the charts for a second. XRP was down to as low as $2.20, but now is at $2.28. The general market is down. The S&P 500 was down as much as, where were we? Let me just go on to the daily chart. But it's now recovering. The market was down as much as 1.3% literally a couple hours ago. And now it's back to almost being positive. I think we've got an announcement from Trump, so I'm just going to go and find that announcement. I think it came just as I went live. So let me see if we've got any announcements from Trump. If you'd want to leave a comment, your comments are on the screen now. Let me go. Let's see if we've got that announcement from Trump about China. Let me see if I can find the announcement. Let's go. Let me see if I've got this announcement. I think he made not an official announcement, but he said President Trump says no when asked if Chinese tariffs will stand. Trump says he believes relationships with China will be just fine. We'll be fine with China. I think that's nothing. Just trying to see. Justin Trump speaks on China, says he'll meet President Xi in 2 weeks, admits that such huge tariffs aren't sustainable, and asks if current tariffs will stay. He said no. I'm just trying to, I think that's the news. I'm seeing if I can find the official correspondence. Okay. I don't. If that comes to us, then we'll report on it. But I just don't have it from his official accounts as of yet. Anyway, that's fine because we know what's going on. Oh, the market's just entered extreme fear. By the way, just to let everyone know, the market is now just entered extreme fear. So that's worth noting. And the market's back down slightly. Okay, so the markets are all over the place. They have no idea what to do. They're going up, down. It's back to tariff volatility days. So let me just do the Ripple story, and then we'll come back to any breaking news. So if you have just tuned in, please do hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't done so already. And if you want this newsletter with all the information, the link is in the live chat. It's sort of the show notes. You can follow with me if you've got the newsletter. Ripple enters 120 trillion corporate treasury market with a $1 billion G treasury bet. We've just got a major announcement. I'll actually make this into a video because it's quite important. So, breaking news on Martyn Lucas Investor. We've got XRP tumbling to multi-month lows, but great news coming from Ripple and Brad Garlinghouse. So I'm going to show you the XRP chart. I'm going to explain to you the Ripple news and give you my thoughts on if this bull market and bear market, if the bull market is going to continue or if we are entering a bear market. Let's start off with the good news. We covered a Brad Garlinghouse speech yesterday. If you want to go watch it, do watch it. It'll be above. Oh, the link will be above my head, and it'll be at the end of this video. That was a great speech. We learnt a lot, and we also he told us there will be an announcement coming soon. And the announcement has come. So, Ripple has entered a $120 trillion corporate treasury market with a $1 billion G treasury bet. So, they've entered a massive, massive market. This is Brad Garlinghouse breaking through, coming into the corporate treasury market with a big acquisition. If you are an XRP holder, let me know in the chat, what is your average buy price? Not how much you have, what price have you bought XRP? Are you still bullish on it? Are you selling? Please do also hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't done so already. Let's see if after this video we can get up to 106,000 subscribers. That would be awesome. So, what is the announcement? Ripple has acquired G Treasury for $1 billion. Quite a large acquisition from Ripple, a fairly large acquisition, in fact. So, marking its third major deal of 2025 and signaling a direct move into the 120 trillion corporate treasury market. The third one, remember, Hidden Row was massive, and then Rail Payments, Rail Pay, something like that, the stablecoin one as well. So, three big acquisitions, all great for XRP, in my opinion. I'll explain why later on. So the Chicago-based treasury platform serves more than 1,000. Remember, they like their corporate clients. The Chicago-based treasury platform serves more than 1,000 corporate clients in 160 countries, including American Airlines, Goodyear, Volvo, Goldman Sachs, and processes 12.5 trillion in annual payments volume across 48 million transactions. 12.5 trillion in annual payments volume and across 48 million transactions. Now, just let that sit for a second. What can help with that? Well, I think we all know what. This acquisition follows Ripple's 1.25 billion Hidden Row purchase in April and 200 million Rail acquisition in August, bringing its 2025 merger and acquisition total to 2.45 billion. This is major, major acquisitions on any company scale, really. These are big acquisitions from Ripple. So Ripple aims to unify traditional treasury functions with crypto native tools, enabling CFOs to manage assets like RLUSD, which now exceeds 840 million in supply, alongside tokenized deposits and fiat liquidity. The combined Ripple GT platform GT Treasury platform will provide institutional treasuries with 24/7 cross-border payments and access to a repo market through Hidden Road's prime brokerage, unlocking yield opportunities on idle capital. Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse framed the acquisition as a remedy to outdated infrastructure slowing global commerce, while Treasury CEO Renat called the deal a watershed moment that shifts treasury management from managing capital to activating it. The move also escalates Ripple's competition from legacy treasury software providers by offering blockchain-enabled liquidity tools and real-time settlement infrastructure under one roof. I'll come back and read his X post in a second. But for XRP holders, the deal materially expands on the token's utility through deeper institutional distribution. Ripple's on-demand liquidity service, using XRP as a bridge asset, will now have a potential access to G Treasury's 12.5 trillion annual payment flow. As CFOs seek to streamline foreign exchange and optimize working capital, even modest on-demand liquidity adoption by G Treasury's Fortune 500 clientele could meaningfully boost XRP's on-chain velocity and institutional relevance. The acquisition affirms Ripple's broader pivot from crypto-native players to enterprise financial infrastructure providers, positioning XRP not as a speculative asset, but as a high-throughput liquidity rail for cross-border transactions. Super bullish, super bullish, super bullish, but not always short-term bullish. Because if we go over to our XRP price action of since this announcement was made, absolutely nothing. Down, 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 down. We went to $2.20 this morning. Now we're back to $2.28. We are in a downtrend for XRP. No one can say we're not. We are in a downtrend. Are we in a bear market? Well, people can call it a mini bear market. Do I think we're in a bear market? I don't know. Time will tell. Are we in a bear market or not? I'll come on to charts in a second, but it's not. I know people get frustrated. Great news, but the price doesn't move. Well, XRP is not being used yet. These are the acquisitions being made. It takes time to implement XRP into all of these new acquisitions that Ripple is making. So trust me, Ripple wants XRP's price to go up as much as more than you do because they hold tons of XRP. They would be mega, mega rich if XRP goes to $10. So they want XRP's price to go up. But as retail investors, we want it to go up tomorrow. Why does no one have any patience? If you want XRP to go up, it's going to be up in the next 4 years, in my opinion. Again, I never give financial advice. These are my thoughts and opinions only. Please don't buy or sell based on anything I say. But Ripple is making acquisitions, and all the acquisitions make sense. They're all about payments. They're all about global payments. They're all about things that can use RLUSD and help make businesses more efficient. People that aren't using crypto yet. And it's always, if you look at any of their acquisitions, such as Hidden Row, they're institutional clients that now they have access to. They can create meetings with them, help them understand the use of blockchain, help them understand the use of XRP, and then they will be onboarded onto the Ripple ecosystem and start using what's it called, the on-demand liquidity service that they provide. So massive companies now that Ripple has got as clients. Ripple now has clients such as American Airlines, Goodyear, Volvo, Goldman Sachs. These are now all Ripple's clients. So you can imagine how many meetings they're going to be having. And also, there's an additional 12.5 trillion in annual payments volume. That's similar sizes to their Hidden Row acquisition. That's millions and millions of transactions a year that will be made more efficient with on-demand liquidity and XRP. So that's why I'm continuing to stay bullish on XRP. The price of XRP doesn't always reflect the utility of XRP, and that's happened time and time again in any market, in any asset. But I think XRP, with what Ripple's doing, and many other CEOs that are using XRP. Remember, there's other companies basing their whole business structure around XRP. Ripple is not the CEO of XRP. There's many companies using XRP. This is one company using XRP, probably in the biggest way. And they are, and I think will grow into an XRP valuation of $10, $50, and potentially $100 next cycle as well. So I'm not worried about it. I like keeping up to date with the news because this is actually what matters, not the random headlines you get on X, not the random fake information people give on YouTube. We give the real information. We have the real information every single day in our newsletter. If you haven't got our newsletter, the first link in the description. Do go and check it out. Let me come onto the chart as well. If we want to talk about short-term price action, bull markets, bear markets, let's have a look at it now. So if you haven't already, please do hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't done so already. XRP is in a downtrend. It is. Remember, we predicted the uptrend in November. We predicted the lawsuit ending. We predicted buying at any time below 40 cents was amazing. We predicted the first run up. We predicted the 50% crash. We predicted this massive breakout to all-time highs. We did say it is possible to go to $10 after that breakout. However, once we double topped, we said that's no longer a possibility, and we're actually going to start trending down. I was quite bullish for the month of October, saying we could potentially head to all-time highs. This is a prediction I made back in July. Then October, we could head to all-time highs with the ETFs. Unfortunately, we are in a government shutdown, something unforeseen, that no ETFs can really be approved during a government shutdown. So I expect the ETF be approved after, as like a week after the shutdown ends, maybe a week or 2 weeks after the shutdown ends. So again, that's put the market down because there is no ETFs coming out, and that's what a lot of people expected. So that put a span in the mix. Do I think we're in a bear market? Do I think we're in a bull market? In all honesty, no one knows, and no one can be 100% sure. There is certain things I'll look for. There's certain things the ways I'm prepared for a bull market or bear market. But if I had to say it in the most simple terms, is be prepared to be in a bull market. Be prepared for XRP to go to all-time highs, $5, $10, $20. Be prepared for that. Whether it tops out at $5 all-time highs, $10, $20. Be prepared for all those scenarios. Also, be prepared for XRP to chop between $2 and $3.40 until we get a direction from the market, whether we're in a bull market or bear market. And thirdly, be prepared for a bear market. Be prepared for XRP to go down 80% to between 50 cents and $1. Be prepared for that. What's wrong with being prepared for all situations? To be prepared for the situation that goes down is don't be over leveraged. Have some money to buy in if you want to buy in if it does go into a bear market. That's all. That's the only preparation you need for a bear market. Because if you believe in XRP, it's going to be back in 3-4 years' time in the next bull market. Be prepared for it to go sideways. That just means don't do anything, hold it, forget about it, or keep DCAing if that's what you want to do. That's how to be prepared for sideways action. How do you be prepared for a bull market? Well, have specific targets you want to take profits. What percentage do you want to take at what levels? I've got all my levels taken care of. I know exactly what percentage I'm taking out at what levels. So that's being prepared for the bull market. It's literally as simple as that. If you try and overcomplicate it, if you try and day trade it, if you try and leverage trade it, if you try and sell it all because you think we're 100% going into a bear market, or if you're trying to buy every single 2% dip, if you think we're going to continue into a bull market, well, if you're going to sell it all, I think we're going into a bear market, then what if it pumps and goes to $5? You're going to really hate yourself. If you're going to buy every 2% dip on XRP thinking it's going to go to a bull market tomorrow, well, what happens if it goes to 50 cents, $1? Where are you going to get the money from to buy the dip? Just be prepared for those three things and you'll be completely fine. But what I'm looking for is three things. One is $2.30 broke, so we were expecting to go to $2. Maybe we're regaining $2.30 now, but if we're going below $2.30, the next area I might DCA at is $2. If we break these last three levels of support, $2, $1.83, $1.75, that will all be signified by if we break $2 with a daily candle close below it, then I think we're heading potentially to $1 and we're going into bear market. That's if we break $1.71. That's been the same back here. When I said if we break below 171 and break below, we're going to go into bear market, but thankfully we didn't and we went into all-time highs. My line in the sand is $1.71. If we break below it, and our daily candle closes below it, we're in a bear market. And that essentially means to me, am I going to sell? If I get the opportunity to sell on a rebound, maybe I'll sell a little bit, but probably not. I'll just try and start accumulating cash for it to go down to $1, and I'll be putting all my buy orders at $1.50. That's for the bear market side. There is no clear indication we're in a bear market. We are certainly in a downtrend. We've got lower lows, lower highs. So we are indicating that it is a little bit more likely we are in a bear market than we would have said a month ago before we broke $2.62. So we might be heading into a bear market. I don't know. The way I would confirm it is if we're down below 171 with a couple of daily candle closes, and Bitcoin at that point would be below 100,000 for a couple of weeks, and then the market's in a bear market. What we want to see to regain the bull market is as simple as regaining $2.62. Holding $2.62 and staying above $2.62, which is the next level of resistance, would put us back in a good place for us to go try and form a base and head to all-time highs. So the $2 could be a base. That's the next level. Or if we break through it, then we might be going into bear market. But for me, I'm just staying in. Why? Well, because my average price is around 30 cents, 50 cents, $1. Those are the levels I bought it on the way up. I bought this dip on Friday at 170, sold it at 240 on a leverage position. That was just because of experience, and I knew how quickly these things can jump back after a liquidation event. That's why I always suggest limit orders are always not a bad thing, because sometimes your exchange won't let you buy. Limit orders are more likely to go through, and you might not be around for that 5-minute liquidation event. Someone says, geez, do you have any good news? I'm not just going to come out and spew good news and fake good news. We're just giving you the best good news in the world based on facts. With Ripple entering the corporate treasury market, which has $120 trillion. It's a $120 trillion market, 12.5 trillion in payments a year. That's a very bullish story. But that doesn't translate into XRP going up on that day. It's once it starts getting integrated and the utility is used. So that's my strategy for XRP. I'm prepared for the downside, upside, sideways action. If we go into, I think there's a 50-50. That's why 50% chance we're in a bull. We will go back into all-time highs, and 50% chance we're in a bear market. But the 50% chance that we're in a bull market, I expect the price to go up to $5, $10. So the risk reward is pretty good, and I don't want to be out of XRP. If we go into a bear market, I will sell gold, silver, whatever I have, try and make some more money, and buy the dip on XRP at $1.50. I'm not going to be buying every 2% dip on XRP. The next price I might buy is $2. The next price after that I might buy is $1.71. And the price after $1.71, I won't be buying anything until we go down to just above $1 and then 50 cents. I've got 3 or 4 more buy zones left in the bear market. I don't think we're probably going to go below 50 cents in the bear market. So we might not even reach 50 cents. Probably reach $1 in a bear market if we go down from here. So that's my strategy, and I'm showing that directly with you. And the other thing to look for is Bitcoin. If Bitcoin starts heading below 100,000 and staying below 100,000, that's when we could be in a bear market as well. If Bitcoin goes below 100,000 and stays below 100,000, makes lower lows and lower highs, because now it's made a lower high. If it makes a lower low on the bigger time frames, then Bitcoin can also be heading into a bear market. Remember, the markets are very, very overheated. The S&P 500 is way above where it should be earnings wise. So are we going to go on our last euphoric run, or are we going to crash before we get the last euphoric run? 50% chance of each in my book, and that's what we're waiting for. I do think we'll have a big recession in 2026, which will help us get some good entries on all markets. But that's my thoughts and opinions only, so please don't buy or sell based on anything I say. There'll be 2 videos for you to watch up here. Go and check them out. But until next time, take care of yourselves and each other. Okay, so that was a video that's going to come out. I'm going to go to your comments now. We've got a few more stories we want to go through. I forgot to read Brad's post, but that's fine. Let me just read it for you now. This was the initial announcement from Brad Garlinghouse yesterday. Today's Ripple is breaking into 120 corporate treasury payments market with a $1 billion acquisition of G Treasury. The past few years have reminded this industry why payments first and foremost. The primary use case for crypto and blockchain. Payments are where Ripple first started for exactly these reasons. The infrastructure is complex, siloed, and inefficient, but as we know, perfectly positioned to benefit from decentralized financial technologies. Outstanding amounts of cash are trapped in outdated payment systems, creating friction and unnecessary cost and barriers to entering new markets. G Treasury has been serving some of the most well-known brands for decades. Now, together with Ripple, we will be able to help CFOs manage their assets, including stablecoins, tokenized deposits, etc., at scale around the world, as well as put their idle capital to work with repo markets via Hidden Road. The opportunity is here, and we're diving right in. It's happening. There's the official announcement from Brad Garlinghouse. Let me go to your comments. Let's put Bloomberg on the screen as well, just in case anything pops up. Let me put that down. Oh, no, down here. Let's put that full screen. Okay. Let's see your comments. And then we'll go through some more stories. XRP John T is here. Thomas Morrow is here. Dale is here. Steve is here. Shane is here. Nick, the Beluga, waiting XRP patiently for $1.50. Good luck. I hope you get that entry. Stu is here. C. Marty says it's slowly recovery. Super Cobra has been brutal. Rhino Skin says hi everyone. Sammy says so sad to watch this first time I am in the crypto market. This happened. Next time I'll wait and watch. I'm sorry that you felt pain. It's the crypto market. You have to expect it. Nick the Beluga says, I want to scoop all so badly at $2. Human Being says, hello, everyone. C. Marty says, my order got filled at 220, which is a result. Congratulations. Anointed Flower says, good morning. Nick says, I'm still holding all fiat. The Queen of Self-Braiding is here. Let me just go to members' questions only until we get to where we are now. Ricardo is here. Nick the Beluga says, if you look at the weekly chart, it could go a long way down. Yep, if it breaks $1.71, we can go to $1. Martin says, good morning. This is Kawane. Martin says, good morning. Or Burak says, I entered Bitcoin at 103,000 long, but accidentally closed 1 minute later. What do you mean you accidentally closed? Are you sure you accidentally closed? Or you just wanted to secure the profits and you got scared? What do you mean you accidentally... The Nick the Beluga says, hi, Sensei. Yolanda says, good afternoon, Sensei. Hello, Yolanda. Human Being is here. Just reading members' comments until we come close to where we are now in the chat. Someone says, "Can you please let me know? I am in the lost 7,000 Australia. I still have 20,000 Australia. Should I sell and buy later?" I don't give any financial advice. Yolanda is here saying hello. Human being says, Lisa. Sammy, unfortunately, you need to make that decision yourself. This is not something anyone can tell you what to do. This is um, you can't just keep spamming the chat. I don't give financial advice. I have no idea what your situation is. Human being says, Martin says 50 cents can come. Pascal, wait. Um, David Hensley says, Sammy, we don't give financial advice like that on here. Thank you, David Hensley. Rob Brennan. Rob Brennan? I thought you remember Rob Brennan. Has it? If you want to renew your, is that our Rob Brennan? I don't know. Here is the membership link if anyone wants to become a member. Since I'm going to start investing £750 a month in stocks and shares ISA and £600 a month in my pension. Hopefully that'll set me up well for the future. I'm going for an index fund's heavily UK bias. Yeah. I mean, again, I don't give advice, but that sounds like a good idea. Sometimes pensions obviously give you that bump in price. So if you're saving for retirement anyway, sometimes the pension is a better place to be putting it. Nick the Beluga says, like pressed. Nick the Beluga, I sold for more coins. Thank you, David Hensley, for all of that. Those links. Human Being says, thanks, David. Have you sold your XRP, Sensei? No, I haven't. I sold a leverage position. I opened at 170, and earlier in the cycle, maybe I sold 10% of my XRP at 350. I made all the announcement live on the show. David Hensley is here. Thank you, David. Please get to replying to members' comments first, and then we'll come to all comments. Human Being says, would you ever sell Bitcoin? I don't think I own much Bitcoin. Would I sell it? Yeah, if XRP was at 50 cents, I'd sell my Bitcoin. Jesse says, I love the truth. Fluffing into people making feel better is only hurting everyone. Thank you, Sensei. Thank you, Jesse. Yes, we just say the truth here. Alpha says the bull market is about to start. Trump China meeting. Nothing I've got on the screen yet. China meeting is that now? I don't think it's now. China meeting. China, isn't that next week? I don't think that's anything's going on right now. We've got Bloomberg on the bottom right, so you can keep an eye on it. Don't panic, sell, fam. You will regret it, says Alpha. Jenny Burns says, so frustrated with all the manipulation in the markets. Jenny Burns, that's manipulation across every single market. Anything is manipulated in this world, unfortunately. Revved up bike, extreme fear usually means a great buy zone. There you go. Ninja Cowboy, morning everyone. That's why I'm saying if everyone's is predicting the next AI crash, then maybe we go on final euphoric run and get rid of all the short sellers once again. Human Being says, we hope, Pascal, but this is what Martyn knows about. But all this, what Martyn knows about, is pretty serious. Yes, Human Beings, that's true, but Martyn doesn't claim he's 100% knows exactly what's going to happen. No one can know exactly when the crash is going to happen or at what point and how much. So you have to form your own opinions as well based on all the information in front of you. Is Trump speaking? No, Trump's not speaking right now. Alpha says it's time to fill the bags, fill the bags, fill the bags, fill the bags. Nick the Beluga says, but if Bitcoin drops to 95,000, good news can't hold. XRP Army says Alpha. Lance Streck says hello. Nada says $2 is your average. Pete says 226. Alpha says 227. Oh, a lot of people with quite high averages. Dale Martin says 32. Some people at 120. I'm buying XRP when it hits 10k. I'm buying XRP when it hits 10k. I don't know what you mean by that. Please watch language on here. This is a family-friendly group. Yes, it is. One Doge equals one Doge. A Lil on Twitter on X integrated is what we need right now. XRP is going to be bigger than we don't. Even if we have a tweet that X is going to start using XRP or Bitcoin XRP, it's going to pump a day and the next day it's going to be down. So we need real. Let's just go to this breaking news from Bloomberg. What we need right now is solid adoption that's going to keep the price up because of the utilization. That's what Ripple's doing.
500 with the open about 1 hour and 11 minutes away.
That's
the price action. Let's get you some morning calls. First up, Baird upgrading Zions Bancorp to outperform, calling the pullback, quote, excessive. That stock is bouncing back by 4.4%. Next up, Goldman raising its price target on Schwab to 114, saying EPS growth is on.
We'll come back to Bloomberg if they start talking about anything a bit more interesting. XRP is going to be bigger than anything else as Alpha. Oh, we just got a super chat from Gary Walden. I apologize it doesn't pop up on the screen. That normally happens. That'll be back up and running this weekend. It's just sometimes the updates get rid of things, and it has got rid of that for now. But Gary, let me read your comment. Newbie here, learning so much. Thank you. Gary's given $10 just to say thank you. I mean, that's incredible, isn't it? Thank you so much, Gary. Your support means the world. I'm glad you found this channel. We don't BS here. We give all the real facts. We don't try and overhype. We don't try and fearmonger. Sometimes our title, well, especially me with my surprise face, is there to try and bring people in. But once you're in the stream, you understand that we're giving the facts. I never do real clickbait like other channels giving you the fake news. I tell you how it is. XRP was tanking this morning. There is a banking crisis that is sparking a full-blown bear market fears. That is all true. Yes, it's a little bit dramatic, but that's what you have to do on YouTube. But once you come in, you understand that all we're doing is giving the real facts. We go through everything every single day, all the top market stories. We give you unbiased news every morning in our newsletter, and we go through it during the show. We don't give you all these paid partnerships with all these fake crypto companies, leverage trading places which make you lose money. We are interact with all the chat. We want to answer your questions. We want to win as a whole. So thank you so much. That comment means a lot, and I'm glad you found this channel. Gary, nobody can tell you what to do with your own money. You have to digest all the info and decide by yourself. Yes, that's true. Human Being says 1 day positive news down. Brain as a roller coaster we now have, says Human Beings. Nick the Beluga, I'm waiting on 150. Trump, such high tariffs on Chinese goods, not sustainable. Trump asking if high China tariffs will stand. No. Yes, that is true. I just don't know where he said that. It wasn't a live interview, was it? But yeah, that is what he said. But again, Trump taco trade again, and then next week is going to be another 100%. We don't know. You need to be prepared for it all. What if the meetings don't go well next week? And if they do go well, when we're going to last euphoric run. But the facts of the matter are right now, I gave you the information last Friday, we are severely overvalued around all markets. That doesn't mean we can't have our last euphoric run, but it also means be careful, because one little thing can light up. One fuse can light it all up. Remember on Friday, that was just one tweet about 100% tariffs, and the crypto market fell between 30 and 80%. So that's where we are. Jeff, Nick the Beluga says, Red, I don't know, but I have a big bag of USDC waiting at that price. Alpha says, invest long term. If anyone does want to join the family, the best way to do it is be a member. It's only a couple dollars a month, or do the Electrum membership, and then you get a lot more. That gives you all the bronze, silver, plus the Electrum perks. But that way we respond to all your comments. We just can't go through. We never know if a non-member is a scammer, because you have to go through all the verification if you have to have a credit card and a YouTube account to become a member. That way we can reply to all members' questions. I'm going to keep buying the pain, says Revved Up Biker. Alpha says invest long term. Human Being says, Alpha, that's our goal, but not easy when you are new with that. Seth Houston says, morning all. Tired this Friday morning. Well, hopefully you have a nice cup of coffee and you get ready for the day, Seth Houston. There's no time to be lazy today. Human Being says, good morning, Seth. Alpha said, just know whoever is investing now is going to be very rich. Thank you, Alpha. Jamie Reese says, hoping to see Joby on our TV for the first time on the F1 weekend. Oh, that would be interesting, wouldn't it, Jamie Reese? Vaz would be loving that. Human Being says, we want to survive, not for, let's say. Nick the Beluga, October, yeah, just the normal October. Look closely for the end of October. We're waiting for the government shutdown to end, and then the week after we expect the ETFs to come out. Thick Boy Custom says, morning all, another day of total red in the crypto. I don't care though, my average is just over $1. I've been holding since January of 2018. I've been through this before, yeah. It's November, keep your eye on Bertober, Nuke Ember. I hope it's not a Nuke Ember. Jamie, that would be all. Damn, 50 cents then, that's great. You have to be prepared for it. Again, that would be if we go into a full-on bear market from now. You can hit 50 cents, but if we go and make new highs, then 50 cents is probably won't see it again. If XRP goes to 50 cents, how will its utility be functional? Just like it always is. It doesn't depend on the price. Jay Harrington says, I'm locked and loaded for a bet. Oh, Human Being has just given 5 memberships. Make sure you're subscribed and you hit the like button and you'll win a membership. Thank you so much, Human Beings. You're inviting people over to the family. Claim your memberships. Human Being has given away 5 investor memberships.
A young man catches fire. This is Phoenix.
Let's celebrate a little bit. We've got some super chats coming in. We've got some memberships being given away. If everyone can hit the like button, we'll come back over to the breaking news, the XRP chart, my thoughts. But let's put the music on. Let's brighten up our days. Let's do it. We deserve it. It's been a rough week. It's Friday, guys. Come on. Don't lose hope yet.
Like a phoenix, you burst in a fire. A thirst and desire, you transform right up in a flash. You spread your wings to rise from the ashes. Phoenix, you burst in a fire. A thirst and desire, you transform right up in a flash. You spread your
If anyone else, any other Lucasades want to spread the love to the general subscribers, you can also give away memberships. It's next to the super chat button, or you can become an Electrum member and join our Sunday shows. Let's play the music. Let's start off the Friday well. It's all going to be fine, guys. It's all going to be fine.
let you drown, but you don't stop. You show you're a phoenix.
Get ready for verse 2, Electric Boogaloo.
You see the truth behind the veil, and you know that they're just looking for attention. Oh, you don't let the ruthlessness prevail. Oh, it's time now, light your fires for ascension. Like a phoenix, you burst in a fire.
Whoever won a membership, please thank Human Being. Please thank Human Being Liz.
You spread your wings to rise from the ashes.
There we go. Let's go through all of the rest of the comments. I think I just went past a few. Let me go back. Thanks for the heads up, David. Oh, Gary. Yep, newbie here. Thank you, Gary. Let me give you a like on that. Did I do it? No. Good morning, thanks, Sensei. This is the best YouTube channel around the world. Thank you, Juan Zalva. I appreciate that. And thank you for being a member for over a year. Thank you, David Hensley, for being a member over a year. Josh Monroe, member for over 6 months. I've been a member for a year in December. Time flies. Ooh, that'll be great. We'll celebrate your 1 year badge, Josh Monroe. And thanks for the messages for the link for the Trump thing, I think a couple of days ago. I appreciate that. Human Being says, guess you read my message I wrote to on X about an ex Martyn Lucas. I don't think he's in the chat right now. We are planning what are we expecting after the bell. We'll come on to that. The markets were down a lot more this morning, and now they're coming up because of that Trump quote about China. Thanks for the heads up, David. By the crashes, sell the pumps. Welcome, Gary, says Nick. Jamie Reese says, looks like markets slowly coming back up after the early drop. Yes, ever since those remarks from President Trump. Are you going to do the open? No, I won't be live for the open. Axel says, Binance is largely responsible for the crash. Yeah, but it was awful what Binance did. These things are very important now. Beans on toast. £3,200 average on ETH. Short term, am I cooked? I don't give advice. I don't even know what Ethereum is in pounds. We look at it in dollars. Let's go over. Thank you for the super chat, though. Let's have a look. ETH. 3,200. Oh, you don't even have a long position. You mean that's your average on Ethereum? Let's just go to. If we go into a bear market, it's going to go below that for sure. But Ethereum is a very safe sort of blue chip in the crypto market. Ethereum will always come back, in my opinion, even though I'm not the biggest fan of Ethereum. What did you say? Oh, right. Your Ethereum average is 3,200. We're even below that right now. We're at 2,800. Oh, yeah. You could be in store for some losses. But again, you might. the bull market might continue. And my thoughts right now are Ethereum will make new all-time highs. I mean, that's the side I'm swaying on. But if you're talking about a bear market, if we go into bear market now, yeah, you can revisit £1,000. But in my opinion, you're more likely, or at least, yeah, I think you'll make new all-time highs on Ethereum. Again, I'm 50-50. And then go to maybe £10,000, £8,000 on XR on Ethereum. So would I be set? Again, I don't get financial. Personally, I probably wouldn't be selling as long as I've got some money to buy the dip. If I don't have any money to buy the dip, or I'd be really, really unhappy if Ethereum drops 50, 60% from where it is now, then I shouldn't have ever bought that position. That's my thoughts. Let's go back over to Bloomberg.
Lots of swings over the last week, but on course for a weekly gain on the S&P 500 after the close yesterday. This morning, steep losses, and we erased them. We take some of it back on the S&P 500. We're just about unchanged on the S&P 500. On the Nasdaq, we're down by just 0.25%. As we count you down to the cash open, let's get you up to speed on the movers out there this morning with your morning movers. Here's Danny. Hey, Danny.
Hey, John. Maybe exemplary of the calm that's overtaken markets are what's happening with the two banks that were the poster child for the next little critters to scrawl out from underneath the fridge. That is Zions and Western Alliance, the mid-sized banks that reported write-offs tied to loans made to a distressed commercial real estate developer that maybe was fraud. There are allegations of that. Maybe collateral disappeared. Either way, climbing 5% and 3.5% respectively. It coincides with the broader turnaround in sentiment in markets.
Absolutely crazy. That is ridiculous. The two banks that have caused the crash in the markets are up 4% and 3%. The regional banks are up after all of that. I told you guys, it's just people sell first, then they ask the questions later, then they buy back. You saw the deep dive this morning. There is absolutely nothing wrong when you look at the numbers, and that's why we break down the numbers. Lilium down 4% today, but yeah, you saw that the regional banks, the two that caused the crash, are up 4% and 3%. It's just, I mean, there we go. There we go. That's how crazy the market is right now, guys. I mean, if there was ever a time to be like, what is going on? It'll be now. Everything's irrational. The market's just waiting for anything to push it down. That's another clear sign that the market is inflated. Doesn't mean it can't get even more inflated, but it's overinflated. Any small thing, the market's waiting to crash, and they've crashed on that, and then the markets came, and then they've actually now up 3% and 4%. Incredible. Great podcast. Happy Friday. Thank you, Cloud. Human Being says better we help here than lose in crypto. Yeah, thank you. Liz Nada is here. Welcome, one of our new members. Alpha is here. Time to pump. How do we get one? It's just who engages with the chat. So as long as you're here at most streams, hitting the like button, subscribing, stuff like that, you increase your chance of getting that membership. Jesse is here. What a guy. That's awesome. Techno music. Please can I have one. Been rough for a while. This song always gets me going. Says Bari. I don't know what you mean by that, but there we go. Seth Houston. Oh, dancing, right. You put the dancing emoji. Great. Seth, I love it. Seth Houston says, we're amazing. David Hezzy says, read, they don't hand them out. They're giving them automatically, electronically. Yes. To people that I think it's Martyn says it's the ones that engage the most within the channel. Fed to enter a blackout period ahead of the October meeting. Yes, that's Bloomberg right now. That's what we reported on. That's why we've covered Jerome Powell's speech and Fed Waller's speech, because we probably won't hear anything from them until the October meeting, which we'll be covering live on the show. New subscriber and following, just wondering if you have anything on Subnit proved no, nothing on that. Sounds a bit dodgy. Justin Duke says the start of the week was great for me. I listened to Martyn and reduced my position in the market, took profit, and now holding cash, waiting for lower prices. There you go, Justin Duke. Knocking Star, how do you know when you've been given a membership? You'll have a little. Looks like you have a membership. You have a little badge next to your name. You'll be in a different color, and you'll have access to all the members only content. So saying there's no, I'm saying 50-50. Prepare for both. I was 60-40, now I'm 50-50. The song always get where were we? I bought XRP at last cycle's top and bought heavily at 26p. Incredible. To be a good investor, then think multi-cycle and you'll be fine. When everyone wants to be in the bear market, then buy. Markets are pumping, but might sell off soon as markets open. It's going up forever. Did you see Kennedy on Senate floor yesterday? Interesting. No, I didn't. Kennedy. Did you see Kennedy on Senate floor on crypto yesterday? I didn't actually. Hello, welcome. V-shaped recovery. I think. Let me just check something. Go over here to Bloomberg for a second.
And we could see the Fed, even in October, perhaps, announcing an end to QT, or at least a timetable for that.
Mike, this was great. Looking forward to closing out the Fed speak with you, sir, and the St.
Yep, no more, nothing from the Fed. David Hensley, just a quick note. Please don't hide people. That's only for if people are really, really aggressive or have said something really bad. Hiding people, we don't really hide people. If someone is just spamming the chat, just please, and this is to all moderators, don't really hide people. If people are spamming the chat, just give them timeouts, and whether that's a 5-minute timeout or 24-hour if it's really bad. Don't hide people for minor spamming. If they're scamming, or if they're big scammers, or if they're being very, very rude, then yeah, you can hide people. But that's a last resort, just to let all moderators know. Okay, let's go here. How many subscribers do we have? 105,108. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do subscribe. Fear and Greed Index is still an extreme fear. Let me replay this. Yep, we're at 24, still in extreme fear. Nothing from Donald Trump on his X. Let's go back to the general markets, the stock markets as well. Biggest gainers are Luna, Mobix, Wrap, AMC. Let's go to our main commodities. Got oil is up, US Treasuries is up, S&P 500 has turned green. S&P 500 is now green on the day. What an incredible turnaround on the S&P 500. We are now green. FTSE is trying to turn green. Nasdaq is down 0.27. Gold is down 0.4%. Is it going to be green by the end of the day? We'll find out. The support is at 4,200. Silver is down 1.5%. XRP is down 1.4%, trying to regain $2.30. That'd be great to have that daily candle close back above $2.30. Maybe we don't even have to look at $2. If XRP holds $2.30 today with a daily candle close, then at least that's the support for now. If we go below $2.30 and put our daily candle close below it, then $2 will be next. Silver is, Bitcoin's down 2.4%, so XRP is holding up better than Bitcoin. Ethereum's down 2.6%. What's Bitcoin dominance today? Is it green or red? Yeah, it's still green. I mean, after 60%, I do think we can head down on Bitcoin dominance. That's why I think altcoin season is still due. If we don't get an altcoin season, it will be not a normal cycle at all. That's what we're still expecting. Okay, so what I'm going to do is end the show now. We're live every single day. We're going to go over every single morning. We're going to go, tomorrow is Vaz with his EVTOL special, his Saturday weekly show. Vaz might be live later on tonight as well. So Vaz will be live same time. If you look at your clock right now, this time tomorrow, this time tomorrow, Vaz will be live with his EVTOL special. Then I'll be back on Sunday with the Electrum event. If you're not an Electrum member, great time to join because the Electrum event will be in a couple of days' time. You can upgrade your membership or become an Electrum member. Let's see today if anything interesting happens. We'll come back live, but again, be prepared for all situations. Coinbase down tomorrow for 4 hours for maintenance, no trading for 4 hours. Let's hope nothing massive happens then, Stu. That could be interesting as well. I'm going to send you guys to the X channel. That's where the stream will automatically go if you want to continue the conversation and catch up on past streams. So let me put that in here. Yeah. Is the X channel on? Let me just check. 1 second. Don't know if the X channel is running. Let me check. No, I don't think the X channel is on as of right now. No, we're not live right now. Okay, that's fine. Anyway, thank you everyone for tuning in. Make sure you have subscribed to the newsletter. That's the final thing I'll leave you with. There's a lot more stories that we haven't covered. Remember, we don't want to give away all the stories for all the people that are part of the newsletter. Go and check them out. Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other. Bye-bye.